Right. There were ceremonies and rituals that actually connected with the earth energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about all these guys who like to talk about the Moloch sacrifices inside the belly of the bull, but I see that it also as like, delivering unto the volcano kind of thing as well. Like
That
just
was
even that basic
that of
one.
course was post catastrophe.
Post catastrophe, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you talking about further back?
Yes, because there were ceremonies before the catastrophes, and they connected with the earth energy. It was how the solar system was held together in its previous formation, and it is attributed by some that the cause of the catastrophe was due to corruption as far as ceremonial magic. And after the catastrophe happened, then everybody transferred over to corrupted religion and ceremonial magic. So that's what we're still digging our way out of, basically, the sump.
Yeah, for some reason I had that film pop into my mind, the Tom Hanks film, when he almost gets sacrificed to the volcano. In fact, he does, but the volcano ends up spitting him out again. I don't know if that's like further symbolism on the theme. Not even a volcano wants to eat Tom Hanks. I think that says something. But have you seen that movie?
where he's talking to a soccer ball?
No, that's that's Outcast or something like that, right?
But I don't think I've seen that one.
No, you haven't seen. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now, but there's a movie. Tom Hanks thinks he's dying, and he makes up his mind that he's going to jump into a volcano. And there's this tribe also that want to make a ceremony out of it, and he ends up getting thrown in the volcano. But it's just as there's an updraft, and they end up getting spat out of it again, intact. But just even in shows, in films like that, where it's a comedy and you're not supposed to take it seriously, there's some deeper meaning to that, right?
Yeah. I'm collecting. There's also, I know for one thing, there are occultists who go to all of these volcano sites and places like this as far as geology. They don't just go to like ancient temples and things. They're going to geological fissures and things where this stuff happens, and they're doing where these things happened in the past, and they're doing rituals there.
No, that's right.
Well, as far as the archetypes, the archetypes you're talking about, you said earlier that the British Edda and the kings and the gods had the same names.
That's right. Yeah.
That's been true in Egypt, where the pharaohs were named after the gods.
That's right.
I think that was the case in Ireland as well, and just about every ancient culture had an interchange between the names of the gods and the names of the kings, and there were rituals and coronation ceremonies which equivalated or identified, trying to figure out a way to phrase this, where the god and the king, or the goddess and the queen, were one and the same. Now, ritual cults that do ceremonies do the same thing, because their members, like you'll have a member of the cult will rise to their position and become whatever god or goddess, so to speak, that they're supposed to be. Like in the Wicker Man, that girl, the Wicker Man, the cop goes to this island to find a missing girl, and there's all these pagans there the main woman in that cult was identifying as Aphrodite. So she actually, in that close-knit group of that cult, she was Aphrodite.
Yes.
So that's been going on a long time. Now, before the catastrophe...
Just before you go on, also in the To the Devil a Daughter, the main cult, head of the cult, he identifies with Astaroth, right? He merges at one point with images of this like golden figure. They have this prop that they use to do their sadistic rituals with this sacrificial victim. I think it's a girl, a virgin girl, and they're going to do something really disgusting with the figure of an androgynous man and like a statue on a crucifix.
Okay.
And they're
I
basically
remember that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I watched all those movies as part of getting ready to launch Van Helsing Library when I did. But it's true, and the Golden Dawn, the OTO, they do that. They identify with those archetypes. And
another thing that comes up in that movie as well is that speech that the bishop who talks about how man is partially programmed for catastrophe, and without God, that is the absolute capability of man. Catastrophe.
That's diabolical apologetics.
Of course.
Anytime you open up a book about where the person who wrote the book is advocating for black magic or Luciferianism or diabolicism, it's all the same arguments that they use over and over again.
It's like you got to go to God if otherwise you'll end up like this. You need God, right?
Well, like Anton LaVey, he actually was kind of humorous about it, where in his interview he's like, well, if it weren't for Satan, the church would have gone out of business a long time ago. But I think that's true, I think out of all the apologetics I've read, and all these pathetic attempts of justification, that was actually the best one because it made me laugh. But what I found interesting is that the partially programmed for catastrophe, I think that is part of why they don't tell us about what's really going on with these volcanoes. They don't want to tell us that Jersey was once an ancient volcano, and the Isle of Jersey, by the way, and that's why they have a statue of Pan there at Devil's Point, I think it's called like that, or the Devil's Pond. And there's a big statue of Pan there, and there's also lots of rumors that there are weird rituals that go on around that site that just happens to be right next door to a massive volcanic crater. And I think they don't do that. They don't let us in on what's really happening with this planet because it keeps us in the dark. Again, they know we're partially programmed for catastrophe. I actually think that's true. I don't take the bishop's side when they say, you gotta go to church. As far as magic goes, dude.
Yeah.
As far as magic goes and what these groups are doing, they're all instructed as far as what to do. They don't even know what they're doing. It's all instructed from the top down as far as what's going to be taught to the people who are actually going to do the rituals. You can make up your own shit and it'll be more effective than what they're doing, because hardly any of them understand the mechanics behind what they're actually doing. They're just doing what they're told because they don't think for themselves.